Hi Storyhunter, this is Allison Week with Issue Television. We are here at the site of Trump's first border wall down in Santa Ana National Wildlife Refuge. We're here with a bunch of protesters and activists, and today we'll be following journalist Meredith Hoffman as she introduces us to some of the locals, some of the organizers, and some other people here at the protest. We're here with hundreds of people at the National Wildlife Refuge in Santa Ana at the border, just outside of Mission, Texas, and here we are with Meredith Hoffman.
We actually
Oh, hey! We're live streaming right now. Are you guys okay with being on live stream? So I'm a journalist, Meredith Hoffman. I am right now interviewing people for an article for Vice about this protest that we have here on where the first strip of border wall is slated to be built. We're in Santa Ana Wildlife Refuge, and I'm speaking with three young women who are going into their senior years of high school, and they live in the area, and they've come out with about 15 students as organized by their student council, and they're here to protest the wall. And yeah, if you guys don't mind, so you were talking a little bit about how you spend your time coming to Santa Ana. Can you tell us again kind of, you know, what brings you out here and what you value about this place?
Well, we don't have a lot of places like these around.
And your name is?
Samantha. We don't have a lot of places like these around, and it's really sad to see that such hate, like, to build this wall in between this beautiful place. It's not right.
And how do you imagine it potentially affecting your experience of coming out here?
There's gonna be less land to come to, less animals, and it's not gonna be the same.
Do you think that you'll still come out here if a wall is built in the middle?
We want to fight it. We don't want a wall. It's not necessary. There doesn't need to be a wall. It's not going to do anything.
People are still gonna find a way to get over on this side.
And tearing down like animals' homes isn't the way to go. There's other ways. Other strategies we can use.
Do you have any, do you feel that you and your community has been affected by the wall or the fence that has already been built in this area?
Not necessarily. Not yet. We haven't been affected. But it will affect the animals who live here, or the people who live very close to here, or maybe even the employees for here. I mean, they may cut down on staff, they may cut down on, land. I don't know, just stuff like that.
And then this is Mayleen's mother.
Hi.
And tell me your name again.
Hi, Vanessa Cano. I was just thinking when you were interviewing the girls, we were just in this area where they had the Hawk Tower, and apparently if the wall is built around here, we're not going to be able to see and be experiencing that area, and it's so beautiful. Actually, it's really, really nice. But yes, there's a ton of people here that are gathered because we feel very strong about this wall. Unfortunately, a lot of things are not being considered, and I believe the priority would be
and we're gonna need to spread out a little bit
for the wall, for what we want to do.
And so this area, the area behind you, is the area that would be blocked off to the south.
I believe so, because that's why they had us. This is where the proposed area, and this is where we're going to stand together.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So here we have a few hundred people, it looks like, who have all joined hands to symbolize their resistance to the wall that will be built right along this property, which environmental experts say could severely damage wildlife species that thrive here, could affect the migratory patterns of birds and different animals, and also would just essentially wreck an area that's one of the few that locals have to come and have some recreational time in a nature preserve. So.
There's the rest of the student council.
I may come back and ask some more questions.
That's about as far we can go.
This is a short end of the line, so you can't walk. Yeah, this is good.
We're gonna hold hands here. Well, they can fill that gap right there.
Yeah, this way. This way.
We need to be. Okay, wait. All right. Larissa, are we good? I think they. Okay. Arms length apart in the middle of the line. Yeah, we're trying to fit everybody in this way.
Take care.
A group of women to speak with.
More stretching, more stretching.
Stretching. Okay. Hi. So,
Yeah, still holding hands.
so first of all, would you mind? What are your names and where do you live?
I'm Olga Vialbazan, McAllen.
You're from McAllen, so right around here.
Yes.
How far do you live from this refuge?
About 10, 30 miles.
And
20 miles.
can you speak up a little bit, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Olga Bazan from McAllen.
Bazan.
B-A-Z-A-N.
And what brought you out here today?
Well, the cause do not want this wall to be built for humanitarian and animal rights. I want to cry. Yes. I was born and raised here.
You were.
Yes.
And have you spent time coming to this refuge
Yes,
over
we
your
have.
life? Can you tell me a little bit about the time that you've spent here?
Well, it was a refuge.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we get to see wild animals, birds.
What animals have you gotten to see here?
Well, mainly birds,
Mm-hmm.
but there are, of course, possums and squirrels and rabbits and stuff.
Did you come here with like family members or on your own or
Different. I've come with friends and I've come with family
And if my
members.
son kneels in front of your sign so I can take a picture for him.
But it's very important to Valley.
For a lady named Carol.
It was built after I was born, but it's still I've always known about it.
Oh, okay. Oh,
And
you
it's
raise it.
and
Got
I
it,
think we
got it.
have to
I'm with you,
preserve
girl.
it.
All right, Caleb.
And are there many places to go hiking in this area apart
Not
from
that
here?
many. There are a few, but not that many. There are in the city, like McAllen has a lot of city, a lot of trails and stuff. But as far as wildlife,
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And when did you find out that the wall was going to be built here?
oh, a long time. When they first started talking about it.
So it didn't come as a surprise to you when the
No.
news came out a couple of
No.
weeks ago that there were these 3 or so miles that were going to be the first site. It didn't.
No, it's always been there. It's always been
It
kind
was
of
a surprise that they were surveying it
Yeah.
without their knowledge.
What's your name? I'm sorry.
Connie
Connie
Paluska.
Paluska. And you said that it was a surprise when you found out that they were
They were surveying it. And police didn't even know they were here. You know, we knew they were talking about it because they said they had contractors trying to put in plans for the wall and stuff. And then all of a sudden, they're surveying for it already.
Yeah. And without permission
Right.
from a lot of landowners, which I know a lot of people are losing their land. And it's been a land for generations. And all of a sudden this is coming between them and their families.
Look what we're going to lose. We're going to lose most of the part here.
Do you also
And
live in
this is-
McAllen?
Yes.
And this is a levee, like for controls flooding. So what is going to happen if we have a hurricane? There's a lot of dynamics that go into it. It's not just human.
Well, that was part of it too, though. They said that these were just rebuilt.
I'm going to move it down just a little bit.
The levees were just rebuilt, but now when they put the wall up, they're going to cut part of that away. So that's going to weaken the levees.
If we can't afford it, be careful. We can't. That's very dangerous. You know what you hear what happens in flooding situations. So that's the whole idea behind levees, and then they're going to block it. Boy Scouts.
Okay, I'll go. Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Same to you.
And I just found out about Vice not long ago.
Her daughter lives in Austin.
So in Austin.
Oh, really? And you were at the Women's March in D.C.? Wow.
I took my daughter and my granddaughter.
Wow.
It's good.
Is your activism newly found in the past few months, or has it been there for a while?
We were born like that.
Right.
Oh, we're going too far?
Oh,
Okay.
Never this vocal, but after this election, no, we had to.
everything's changed.
Totally changed.
So Meredith, while we have a second, do you want to talk a little bit about what you've observed this weekend out here at the protest?
Yeah, that's a great idea. So this whole weekend, local residents have been out. Yesterday, it was in the town of Mission, in the historic Mission, processing by the La Lomita Chapel, which is set to be cut off to the south by the border wall. And this is actually the church that the town was named after. It's a church that has been around since the late 1800s and that has a lot of significance for people. And that is just one site out of many that would be cut off, including the south side of this refuge by the border wall. So about 2 weeks ago, there were new plans that were released that were actually leaked by a local newspaper here, a map of where the wall is set to be in place exactly in the Rio Grande Valley, and without the consultation of local residents or even of local governments, which I've heard from city council members here that they received no word of what exactly was going to happen until these maps were leaked. People are both surprised about the details and the fact they were not consulted, and also not that surprised because they knew that a wall ultimately was slated to be built on their precious land. So people are joining. There is a great sense of unity among a larger number of people in the valley now, and I've heard from many organizers that if you had organized rallies like this when the previous border fence began being constructed about 10 years ago, you would have maybe seen about half the number of residents and protesters come out. So we have a few hundred people here now who are all joining hands and standing exactly where the first 3 miles of border wall are slated to be built as early as this fall.
And where are we again?
We are in Santa Ana Wildlife Refuge right now, which is technically in Alamo, right? Yeah. Are you guys also organized by the school? You had a school council?
Yeah, student council from Piaget North. We came, a few of us last year.
A number of you, right? About 15?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12.
Yeah. And why did you guys decide to come out today?
Well, our student council president over there, Jonathan Garza, decided that we should come out. I'm the city council president. My name is Rory. And our senior class sponsor, Ms. Santiago, makes us know that it's important to preserve wildlife and do things like this, and it's something that's really important, and we thought that we should come.
Have you spent time on this refuge?
Yeah, we have. Oh, well, not together as a student
Or
council.
you individually?
Yeah,
What type of time, like how have you spent
family
time?
time. With my family, we come out here sometimes. It's really nice. I don't live too far from here, like 20 minutes. So it's something really, really nice, and it should be preserved. They shouldn't be over here.
What do you think of coming and protesting at this site? Are you protesting just against this particular stretch of wall that is supposed to be built here, or are you also thinking of it as a larger kind of opposition?
Well, personally, I think of it as the larger picture, but we're just here right now because we know that this refuge is important, and we came out as a school together because we knew it was going to be some useful protesting and stuff like that. But it's a really big problem that's happening, and it should be preserved. This refuge should not be made at all, whether it's here or the bigger picture all throughout wherever it's being made.
Thank you, Rory.
What's your name?
My name is Rory. Rory. R-O-R-Y. Like Lori.
So Meredith, can you talk a little bit about all the different groups that you've seen out here that have come to represent protesting?
Yeah, we've seen everything from local government, city council members, even Texas Congress members who have been out here, and then we've also seen farm worker activists who have been involved in organizing in the valley for years. We have seen students, we have seen people who just live in this area and for the first time are deciding that they will not put up with a wall dividing their land, and who have been kind of activated by the new administration and the promises of the administration to put further enforcement here. So we've seen a wide array of different groups. So we've also seen people come down from Austin and from different parts of Texas as well.
I actually really like that about it.
What could I forget?
Yeah, so today we're doing a little bit of live streaming with Storyhunter.
Nice.
So really just, if you wouldn't mind talking a little bit about, you know, why you're out here. First of all, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Betty Pettis.
videos?
We're doing a video for Storyhunter.
That's Sammy.
Hi, nice to meet you. No, we're live streaming right now.
You know that we're on the levee, right? And that this is the levee where the levee wall will go, right? And you want me to talk about that?
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
We're live streaming, so someone may just be getting on right now.
Well, so this levee is contoured, of course, on both ends, and wildlife is able to easily get across it. But the plan, we're afraid that the plan is that they will turn these into a levee wall. And I think Scott Nickel was saying that a third of it will be taken off. And this vertical concrete wall will be erected up to here, is my understanding. And then on top of that, there'll be bollards, which are these metal posts. You've seen the other ones along the way. You can see the old fencing that was put in 10 years ago.
So you're saying what kind of wall is laid?
Well, it's cement,
right?
It's straight down cement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like I was saying yesterday, you know, people can get across it, but animals won't be able to. So, you know, because people are using ladders and
But animals won't be able to.
No, and the animals, the fear is that there's been flooding in here on this road, up the river, and that there will be bigger floods. We're still waiting for that big hurricane that just comes off the Rio. And we don't know what will happen, but we're due for something like that. And so we're worried that the animals will be trapped back here.
And so this being the south side of the
That's
wall.
well, and I don't know, you look at a map and it says, you know, the border is sort of like this.
Right,
yeah.
right.
And this is Hidalgo County. We're in Hidalgo County.
And about how long?
All of Hidalgo County is, excuse me, but all the, just to say that it's all supposed to be levee wall, because this is where the levees are. But if you go west, the levees end around Sullivan City, I think. And then from there, all the way to Roma. And I know it goes beyond Roma, close to Falcon Dam. This is our wildlife corridor. Our wildlife corridor where the animals and everything is. Not only animals, we're talking about keeping these populations healthy. And you don't have a healthy population when they're breeding and not able to find their mates and everything. And so you just it gets kind of, it doesn't thrive, basically. So anyway, west of here is, we're really worried about west of here because the flooding might be worse there. It has been in the past because there's a big river that comes in from Mexico. I think it's the Concho. And there was a big flood when the Concho flooded. With big rain in that watershed. So it wasn't raining here. All the water came down. So we're worried about those bollard fences which collect debris. Even though it won't be a levee wall, they're 18 feet high, I think, like this. You need to get up close to see them. But it doesn't let much other than reptiles get through. And so, and when the flooding happens, the debris gets on the bottom, and it's like a total wall. What are you doing?
Thank you, Betty.
Thank you. Y'all, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Let's see our solidarity. We're making a wall.
How are you? I'm Meredith Hoffman. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And so you are based in New York. Okay, and you're down here for this. So we're doing a few things right now. We're both based in Austin, and I'm down here doing a story for Vice, a written article about the impacts of the wall and what really border residents have to say about how they feel about this. And then also, my friend and colleague Allison is live streaming for a brief period of time some of the reporting right now. So I've been looking to speak with someone like you, and you know, either you or Scott. I guess you probably have just as much knowledge of this.
Not nearly as much as
well,
Scott.
If you could,
He is the
okay. Well, I guess I'll speak with him afterwards. But can you give us a sense of, I guess, kind of technically what could happen if a wall is built here, and what is your knowledge of what exactly is slated to be built? How tall of a wall do we know? What is the material, and what are the impacts that it might have on species?
I'm actually going to let you talk to Scott. You've already talked to our local. So the technicalities and the local impacts. Oh, hi, I'm Lauren Blackford. I'm the president of the Sierra Club, the National Sierra Club. And so I'm here really to support our local volunteers and our local partners. And as you can see here, we have just a tremendous turnout of so many different organizations coming to this. And I can speak to Sierra Club nationally, that this is primarily a local issue. You can see the impacts on the communities, you can see the impacts on this incredible refuge, but we're also concerned about the national impacts because of the waivers of environmental and other protections. That's unprecedented.
Can you explain that just briefly for if someone's watching?
Yeah, sure. So to do this wall, they are going to waive 33 environmental protections, not to mention a lot of other protections that take care of American citizens, and that's never happened in history.
And that is overall the wall. That's not just this one spot. That's overall.
Yeah.
Does that include this area?
Yeah.
It does.
It will include this area. So this area is going to be the forefront of this. This is an important refuge. This refuge is one of the only places you still see ocelots. There are less than 50 ocelots left, and a lot of them are right here in this area, and so will be affected by the wall.
Less than 50 ocelots left in
the United States.
Wow.
Yeah, and so this is where they are. And so the wall, we were just hearing about the damages of the flooding. I heard this morning that after a flood previously, they found hundreds of desert tortoise shells, which meant the animals were getting trapped by the wall and drowned because they couldn't escape, and they assumed that many other animals were as well. The desert tortoises just had the most permanent indications of that, and so you were hearing about that fear. It's the Texas tortoise, sorry, thank you, the Texas tortoise.
And real quick, someone asked what is an ocelot. Can you explain a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, an ocelot is a small cat-like creature. If you go back to the center, they have a stuffed one there. They're beautiful little cats that are spotted. There are also still jaguars in the area. So environmentally, this is very important. They said there are over 400 bird species here, and half of the butterflies in the United States can be found in this area. And so the wall is really environmentally a big impact, but it's also so clearly an impact on communities. So one of the important things to know about the impact locally, the wall doesn't go right along the border. In some places it's 2 miles in, so it's cutting off communities from the water. And water is life. And so you have communities here that won't be able to access the water. And also, as you're seeing from the turnout today and yesterday, this is a really vibrant community that has a long tradition of community across the borders, and so the wall is really an obstacle to that. But it's also they're taking Americans' land, and both where the wall goes, but also people and buildings that will be isolated by the wall. So yes.
Why are they choosing to build a wall, as many as 2 miles north of the actual border?
Well, if you look at the river, there's a lot of curves, and so if you don't do that, it's much longer edifice, and then also avoiding floodplains. So.
But you're saying that this would actually worsen potential flooding?
Well, it means, this will certainly worsen flooding. In places where there is flooding and the wall is on the side that the flooding is on, they still hold hands. I think we're doing the you can join us if but national implications the wall cost $20 billion or more, and that's U.S. taxpayer dollars that could be going to clean energy, it could be going to so many things that create jobs that protect Americans.
Isn't there like a net immigration leaving?
in Santa Ana along the Texas and Mexico border. We're a couple miles north of that, standing along a levee with a group of protesters and activists from the local communities near and far. And these people are out here in protest of Trump's here standing in solidarity as a community and as one. So we are with Meredith Hoffman, who is a journalist covering for Vice and the Texas Standard, and we've been interviewing and talking to people this morning, both local residents, and we just got off talking with the National Sierra Club leader there. So Meredith, do you have any last comments?
I think that people are really impressed at the amount of people who have come out here today, as well as for the whole weekend. And you know, that's it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for tuning in. And if you want to find some more information, where can people look for more information, Meredith?
Oh, where can people look for more information?
About what's happening here? And
Sure. Well, if you follow my Twitter handle, Mayor Hoffman, MERHOFFMAN, I'll be releasing the link to the story for Vice that comes out probably tomorrow afternoon, and then there will be